Yeah, I'm just a chill guy. Just a chill guy. Isn't that the isn't that the meme that's going around right now? Hands in the pockets. I'm just a chill guy. You know? So I've talked a good bit about my weight loss journey. I haven't really gone into detail about my weight gain journey and how it was no accident. It was very intentional. And that's what we're going to get into today, because I can see many, many lifters going down this same path. As I'm saying this, I have made videos on not why not to dirty bulk. So I guess this is going to be similar, but I'll go into a little more detail as far as how I really fucked myself up, how I really brainwashed myself into some horrific negative habits and just a very defeatist, negative way of thinking in general. So, I was very, very, very physically unimpressive for a very long time. I was very weak, skinny, weak bastard, as I've said before. This is like 7, 8 years ago, I guess. And even before that, early on in the OG YouTube fitness days, I'm just trying to get answers. I'm trying to get help. I'm looking up everything I can. I'm finding guys like Elliot Hulse, guys like Alan Thrall, people that I'm still huge fans of. Love what they do. Love the mark they've left on this space and all the impact they've had. But how I let it be somewhat of a negative for me is I'm seeing guys ask Elliot Hulse, like, so how do you, if I do my bench press this way and go underhanded, will I get juicier chesticles, juicier pecs? And he's laughing at him. He's like, you must be new here. We don't care about aesthetics, you frickin' girl. You frickin' feminine bitch. He didn't say all that, but that was definitely a vibe for a little while there. It's like, what, you care about how you look, you fucking Barbie? We're just men. Men get strong. Men get strong. And I'm like, huh? Strong? I need strong? Tell me more. Strong? And it's all about putting the food down. I mean, he was a strongman competitor. Alan Thrall was a strongman competitor. It's all about throwing down on the food, gallon of milk, all that nonsense. But then I see them lifting these crazy loads, deadlifting 600 pounds, squatting in the 500s, throwing crazy weight over the dome on that standing overhead press. And I'm like, that's what I want. And then I'm also thinking, man, I've been struggling so much with getting stronger and getting any fucking results in the gym. This must be the missing ingredient. This must be the secret. I just gotta eat like a pig. And I had basically convinced myself that, okay, maybe I'm not genetically gifted to the extent that, for me to get strong, I have to go down this path. If I have to look like shit, so be it. If I have to sacrifice my aesthetics and how I look, whatever. I'm just so sick and tired of being the weakest motherfucker that I have ever seen with my own eyes. And it's me. It's me. So that led me down the dirty bulking path. And I'm just putting down the food. And guess what? I did get stronger. The weights definitely increased. But there were so many things that if I had some foresight, I could have planned it out a little different. I mean, a more generous calorie surplus versus a small calorie surplus. Yeah, you'll probably get stronger in that scenario. And there's a way to do that where it's still somewhat reasonable. But I was eating like 4,000 calories a day and gaining weight very, very, very fast. And the whole point is this. If you gain 20 pounds in 2 months, just as an example, how much muscle do you think you really built? Not a whole lot. 20 pounds? Definitely not. 15 of them? Definitely not. 10 of them? Definitely not. 5 pounds. Is 5 of those 20 pounds muscle? In 2 months? Probably not. So what did you gain? A bunch of fat. That's it. Just a bunch of fat. Which, if your fat gain to muscle gain ratio is completely out of whack, your relative strength is going to plummet. And when it's time to take it all off, if you keep gaining in that way, it's going to take so long to get the fat off. Now you're training in a deficit for so long, there's a really good chance you'll end up damn near in the same spot that you were. If you do this in like the worst way possible, which is what I did. And I would even do the math on like my overhead press to my body weight, my deadlift to my body weight. And I'm like, man, relative wise, this sucks. It's not even good. Yeah, it's more weight than I've ever done, but it's not even impressive. Like benching 225 and weighing 225 is not that crazy. Benching 225 at 170 or 180, that's fucking awesome. That's pretty legit. But I had given up on that. This is the whole point. In my mind, I had told myself, I'm not meant to be strong. It's not in my DNA. It's not in my genetic code. It's not written in the stars. This is not my destiny. So I had put myself in a situation where the only reality where I could be strong is where I get fat as fuck. And because of that, I was able to do some mental gymnastics to make it make sense. I was able to stay on that path for a very, very long time. Until one day, the brutality of how ultimately weak I still was compared to my body weight was like soul crushing. Seeing myself in the mirror was soul crushing. Putting all of these hours into working out and into the gym only to see a very flabby physique where it's like, does this guy even work out? I had spent years in the gym, and if you line me up with some other people and it's like, hey, pick who you think works out and who doesn't, I guarantee most people would be like, okay, not him, maybe that guy, for sure that guy, oh definitely not him, what's your name, Eli? Yeah, you're a fat bastard, there's no way you work out. And it got to the point where it's like, it just became too painful. And then it took a very, very long time to get all the fat off, a little over a year. That's a long time to be training in a deficit. You're not going to make that great of strength gains training in a deficit, even in the short term, but especially a long-term process like that. And by the time I finally got lean, got about 10% body fat, a lot of my lifts were almost where they were so long ago. And it's like, so basically that was a gigantic waste of fucking time. Not really, because I learned so many lessons. I learned so much about myself. That process, what it took mentally to go through that and then go all the way back down, I wouldn't change that for the world. I'm glad I went through that. I'm able to speak on this topic now from a place of experience. I wouldn't change that for the world. I'm able to steer my clients away from that path. I wouldn't change that. So it's all good, but at the same time, objectively, on paper, for like my lifting career and the trajectory of my lifts and strength gains, it was a gigantic waste of fucking time. And it all came from this very negative, woe is me, defeatist place. It doesn't matter what it is. If that's your mindset going into anything, that you're not going to get a great result. If it's coming from a place of fear or an extreme negative mental place, very unlikely that on the other side of that is going to be some epic, rewarding, positive result. And looking back, all I had to do, I was like, man, I'm just not getting stronger. It's not working. All I had to do was eat a little bit more, train a little bit harder, master the cues, master the movements, master the mental state going into the gym while I'm working out. There's all these other things that I could have done that would have put me on the fast track to gains. But instead, I was like, I'll just take this shortcut. I remember vividly, I was watching Born to Be Strong. It's a strongman documentary. I was watching it with my wife, and they're all laughing, eating like 100 Chick-fil-A nuggets. They're all ha 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 having the time of their life. Just being big fat bastards. But they're lifting insane weights, and it was like a negative light bulb moment. It wasn't a light bulb moment of like, oh, this is a positive thing, this is what I need to do. It was like the dark side of a light bulb moment. I was like, okay, that's what I'll do. I'll just keep eating. And then I'll eat even more, and then I'll eat even more, and then I'll eat even more until I'm strong. And yeah, we see how that all played out. So there's so many things that can be done to make amazing progress in the gym, amazing progress as far as muscle growth, amazing progress as far as aesthetics. You can progress all of them evenly at the same time. It can be done. It just takes a little bit of foresight, a little bit of planning, and very specific execution on what you do inside of the gym and what you do outside of the gym. If that's something you need help with, DM me on Instagram. Happy to help. This is what I do. I live and breathe this stuff. I lift every single day. I train clients every single day, and I am thinking about and speaking on these topics every single day. This is my life right here. This is my fucking life. Is all these things. It's the training, it's the nutrition, and it's the mindset. These are what very much rule my reality and my inner dialogue most of the time. So because of that, I'm a good person to reach out to if you're struggling with any of these things. So that's my story on how I became a fat bastard in the pursuit of strength. I don't recommend it. I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next one.